What are some of the sexiest creatures alive in the world? Some may say it's the human or the mermaid, or some of you freaks may say stuff like the Yeti or Bigfoot. Like, what's wrong with you? And if you're really freaky, then you might say a goat or a dog, and if you say that, please seek help. But the true sexiest creature is actually a skeleton. I mean, how can you not love a skeleton? Looking at all those bones, being able to feel all the rough edges of each bone.
Moving your hand across their ribs, feeling each bump, and then be able to use each bone to pleasure your...
Oh shit. Am I a freak? Even though skeletons are by far the sexiest creature, there is one that stands at the top of the list. And it's not that ugly man named Jack Skellington.
Oh my god! I'm done! Oh god! Fuck! No, my god!
It's Ainz Ooal. Or at least that is what Albedo thinks, and she is never wrong since she is a goddess. Ainz, who is formerly referred to as Mamunga, is a protagonist of Overlord, which is an isekai. Overlord, to put it simply, is about a lonely man who puts all his time and effort and money into this game, and he is starting to lose it all since the game is shutting down. So he travels to the halls of the Great Tomb of Nazarick. He reminisces about the old times and changes the setting in Albedo's character sheet to make her madly in love with him. You know, your typical Tuesday. I can't really blame him either. All the hard work you had with your friends is about to be lost. And you can't even celebrate the achievements with them because they have regular lives and want to be at work on time, and you're just a NEET. So with the game shutting down, of course you would like to go through memory lane and remember all the positives and the work you put into everything. He then passes out because he is drunk on power and wakes up in the game, but guess what? He is trapped inside the game and cannot leave. So it's just Sora Online, but with an overpowered skeleton and a sexy succubus that does almost nothing, except going after the main character's dick. Ainz is now trapped in another world that isn't the game, so he must learn about this world by traveling around as the swordsman named Momon and as Ainz. God dang it, he is just Kirito, but done right. I mean, they both wear black and they're both dual wielders, so they're obviously the same character, it's just that Ainz is better. He travels the world for his ultimate goal, taking over this new world. Wait, I thought he wanted to leave. No, he wants to say, finally, an actual sensible protagonist. The real world. I want superpowers for life. Plus, when you have such a hot waifu in Albedo, why would anyone want to leave? Albedo might be one of the greatest waifus of all time. She's the greatest yandere of all time. She will be by your side through thick and thin. She will protect you and fight for you. She is unstoppable. Her love is immense, and of course, she is one of the sexiest waifus in the world. And you may be asking yourself, what does this even have to do with the video? And my response is simple.
Everything.
Albedo is one of my favorite things about this show, and she is 100% in my top 5 waifus of all time. Overlord has a very fun and entertaining cast, and honestly, all their dynamics are just extremely fun to watch. Every character is unique. Albedo's the yandere who's willing to do anything for Ainz. Xiaoqir's the masochist who's also willing to do anything for Ainz. Demiurge, who comes up with a plan and states that Ainz was already on top of the plan, even though he clearly isn't. Plus, he would do anything for Ainz. Aura is an energetic girl who is ready to fight any time of the day. Mare, who is a very timid boy who cross-dresses. And on top of that, they would do anything for Ainz. Okay, they all share at least one trait. Overlord has something for everyone. If you like overpowered isekai protagonists, bam! Ainz and all his floor guardians are unstoppable wrecking machines. You like over-the-top action? Bam! The first season has Ainz versus Xiaoqir. You like Black Butler? It has that. Sebas is clearly the superior version of Sebastian. And if you're a furry, they have an entire season dedicated to lizard sets. I just really love Overlord. It is a very fun isekai that I wanted to keep watching every episode, even though CGI is absolute ass and is the worst part of the show. But at least it's not the worst CGI. When the show wasn't using CGI, it actually had spectacular animations. Obviously not on the level of masterpieces like Mushoku Tensei or Demon Slayer, but it was still really good. The OST makes every intense moment even more intense and adds upon the show. The moments where Ainz is being a spooky, scary skeleton, the OST adds more to that moment. And speaking about OSTs, have you heard of the openings or the endings? Every last one of them is freaking bangers, especially Ferocity or even the newest one, Holo Hunger. Overlord is not just a lighthearted show where each episode is just a bit of just doing everything Ainz says or just sucking up to him to get closer to him. There are times where some characters like Sebas go behind Ainz's back, not in a betrayal way, but not wanting him to worry about something that isn't important. It's also not just a show where the main protagonist out of nowhere just wants to become a dictator of the world. He progresses to the desire of wanting to become the ruler. His main goal has always been benefiting the Tomb of Nazarick, not so much for himself or for others. Him saving a village from extermination isn't for him to feel good about himself for doing a good deed, but for him to create connections and learn about this world. He never aimed to be the hero hero of this story, but he doesn't aim to be the villain either. He only acts evil when you end up getting in the way of the benefit of his tomb or even hurt one of the guardians, or if you decide to infiltrate the tomb. He only wants to be a proud leader. He wants to be a leader that the guardians of the tomb can respect and look up to. He doesn't want to be a strict dictator to them. He wants to show them kindness for their hard work and praise them, reward them for all their good work, but does not shy away from punishment if it is necessary for the development of that certain guardian. Even if the punishment isn't really a punishment for that guardian and maybe they just like to be sat upon. Ainz as a ruler is a kind and caring leader who is extremely smart. He doesn't go into battle without knowing every little detail he can. He also isn't careless. More times than not, he overestimates his opponent and prepares for the worst, but in reality they're all beneath him. He always puts his all into everything he does, whether he's protecting someone by putting his name on the line, fighting an opponent, or even gaining knowledge about the world. We see him go around as Mormon trying to learn more about this world by becoming an anti-ranked adventurer. He puts his all into each mission even if they are beneath him and not for someone worth his skills. He doesn't care. He wants to build his reputation, so he goes into each mission and quest with a full head, using all of his surroundings to learn more about the mission, then puts all that effort to execute his mission. He even joins the group called Swords of Darkness to further his goal, even though he grows to know them more and more throughout the missions. Once they met their unfortunate ends, he really didn't care, because they were more like pawns to him. He only wanted to take revenge on the person that killed them for taking away valuable information. The only people he really cares about are his 4 guardians and servants, because they are like children since he helped design them, as well as the people that can bring valuable information to him or even just bring vital tools for his great tomb menagerie to prosper. He uses Inferior to be able to attain new potions and to see them get to the level of potion Ainz is used to. So he keeps the person dearest to him alive, such as his grandmother and the person he's in love with Henry, and makes her little sister a priority to keep alive as well to keep her loyal. These people are only on his protection list to provide him with valuable information and to get to his ultimate goal of world domination. Everything in the show we see him do is only for the benefit of Nasri, not for himself or for him to prove to himself that he's a great leader or a great person, but he wants it to prosper for his guardians. He plans out everything to the T. Nothing escapes his gaze. If you're doing something, he knows it. He is always watching and making what you're doing a part of his plan. Whether it is taking over the lizard people and ruling over them, or using them for experiments, killing a very honorable man, or even killing one of his 4 guardians to keep his great tomb running, he will do it. Overlord is by far one of my favorite anime to watch because of these reasons. Seeing Ainz go from being a human to becoming more and more monster-like, to not seeing people as just people, but seeing them as pawns, not feeling disgusted or upset about one of their deaths, but feeling nothing for it. Seeing him care less and less for the lives of the innocent is truly a sight to be seen. But then you also have the comedy moments of where Albedo is always trying to lose her virginity with Ainz, who is kind of like an uncle or a father figure. Now don't take my compliments as me saying this is a perfect 10 out of 10 flawless show, because it is not. This show has many flaws to it. In the series, some of the pacing is absolutely god-awful, such as in season 2. We have almost 5 episodes worth of the lizard people joining together to become one tribe. Learning about the disputes with each other and all the things we learned seem pointless because they barely beat a lower form of undead, as well as losing horribly to Cocytus. And then near the end, they just kneel and give up. They dragged it on so much for something I could care less about. Honestly, this should have been only like 2 episodes. I don't want to see a full episode dedicated to lizard sets. Another big problem is that some of the fights pan away and you don't even see what is happening, but you can hear what is going on though, and it happens near the best part as well. But we can actually see what is going on. The fights are fantastic. Seeing all the cool spells and how they use them are just so fun to watch. The worst issue with this show is the god-awful CGI. I mean, come on, stop using CGI. It doesn't fit with any of the animations, and it is just literally the worst. And yet, with all these flaws, this show is still so much fun to watch, and I am extremely excited to see what will come about in the newest season of Season 4. After how the last season ended, I am left awaiting to see what the aftermath will be like. And hopefully they have finally learned their lesson and will not be using that god-awful CGI in Season 4.
And of freaking course, they still use the same gosh darn CGI that they used before. What the freak's wrong with you, Madhouse?